In this edition of Latitudes, we discover a unique way of visiting Antarctica without feeling the cold. We leave the polar region to check out one of the Pacific's most amazing diving locations. This is the home of the world's largest, most easily accessible shipwreck. If you have a spare $12,000 US, you may want to stay the night at the Mandarin Oriental Hotel. All this and more in this week's Latitudes. A truly unique travel adventure is becoming rare in today's shrinking world, but they do exist, and this is one of them. It has been described as the greatest single-day travel experience. Some travellers who have participated in these flights have trekked the world from east to west and have described these flights over the last great World Heritage wilderness as truly awesome. To get to the southernmost place of the planet, the Qantas 747 passes over Australia's island state of Tasmania. In less than 3 hours of that, the first icebergs appear. Very soon after, dozens of pure white icebergs dot the deep blue of the Southern Ocean. Qantas has 16 different route options to choose from, and the highly experienced flight crew choose the best flight path for that particular day's weather conditions. Antarctica is twice the size of Australia and consists of an awe-inspiring vista of ever-changing polar plateau, the bluest oceans imaginable, vast rugged cliffs, sweeping mountain ranges, glaciers and great expanses of ice that are 4 kilometres deep. The 747 passes directly over the South Pole before descending for a closer look at the French base Dumont d'Urville and the rugged cliffs of the Antarctica mainland. Normally, flights include passing over the historic Mawson's Hut at Commonwealth Bay and past the rugged mountains of the Trans-Antarctica and Admiralty ranges. Once over the Antarctic continent, the captain flies the 747 through a series of long, sweeping figure-8 turns, which allows the inspiring scenery to be seen by all. The altitude of the aircraft is about 3,000 metres, or about 10,000 feet. This is approximately 600 metres above the highest ground. Being thousands of kilometres from the nearest civilizations, the air is perhaps the cleanest in the world and is crystal clear. Visibility seems only restricted by the Earth's curvature. Every Antarctica adventure is a total package that begins the moment the aircraft leaves the ground. Every passenger receives a complete Antarctica information kit, and a senior Australian Antarctica research scientist is there to give fascinating commentary on the history and natural wonders of this majestic region of the Earth. Experts explain the vistas as they unfold, and the accompanying video screenings supply a full picture of life on the ground. A camera mounted on the flight deck captures the captain's view of the entire journey, which includes takeoff and landing. The unique way of visiting Antarctica without feeling cold. Bokissa Island is just one of about 300 islands and pinnacles that make up Vanuatu, which is one of the most intoxicating of all the Pacific islands. If you want a getaway that includes privacy and intimacy, the greatest scuba diving, adventure and great food, then Bokissa Eco Island Resort may be just the place for you. The first thing that you'll notice is the charm of the locals, who refer to themselves as Ni Vanuatu, which means of Vanuatu.
You're welcome to.
Thank you. Thank you. Just what I need.
While your luggage is taken to your whare, you can enjoy your welcome drink and take in the absolutely stunning settings of the resort. A whare is a local term for private bungalow, and each is air-conditioned and equipped with ceiling fans. Bokissa's whares can be configured in many options, from a single share arrangement up to a quad share configuration. Air and light is regulated to suit the beautiful Quila wood shutters. Each whare has a large ensuite with toilet, vanity, shower with instant gas hot water and hairdryer. Each whare is no more than a few metres from its own private little beach. Each whare has a generous covered veranda and is the perfect place to enjoy the ocean breeze or view exquisite sunsets. For divers, a great place to start is Million Dollar Point. After the war, the Americans bulldozed acres of surplus equipment into the water. Today, divers can swim around this most amazing junkyard. Many spend a fair bit of time in an old barge, which was used to try to recover some of this booty. Ironically, the barge sank, and it too has become part of the machinery and other goods that make up Million Dollar Point. Another great wreck divers can explore is the MV Henry Bonnard. It's an old coastal freighter which was deliberately sunk to be an artificial reef. The wreck lies upright on a sloping sea floor, and depths range from 30 metres at the stern to 45 metres at the bow. It's an excellent night dive, as large numbers of flashlight fish call this wreck home. Yet another interesting wreck is the USS Tucker. This destroyer survived the attack on Pearl Harbor and continued service until 3rd of August 1942. Entering a channel to Santo, she struck a friendly mine. 6 sailors were killed and the vessel subsequently sank. The ship lays in 2 halves, and in between is a track of debris. This was not the only ship to sink here due to striking a friendly mine. The President Coolidge was built by Newport News Shipbuilding and Dry Dock in the USA. She was launched on the 21st of February 1931 and operated as a luxury liner on Trans-Pacific routes. During the Second World War, she was fitted out as a troop carrier. Disaster struck on the 26th of October 1942. Like the USS Tucker, the Coolidge also struck an American mine in attempting to enter Espiritu Santo. The captain headed the crippled vessel to the shoreline. However, the Coolidge sank and slid into 20 fathoms of water. Nearly all of the 5,000 officers and men on board were saved. The Coolidge is perhaps the most famous of all shipwrecks to the diving fraternity, as it's the largest, most accessible wreck in the world. This wreck is only about 80 feet or 24 metres shorter than the Titanic. The most frequented area by divers is the ship's smoking room, where the Lady is found. The Lady is a Victorian statue of a woman and a unicorn. Unlike the Titanic, which suffered a massive amount of damage and broke up during the fall of several thousand metres to the ocean floor, the Coolidge sinking was gentle. She simply slid down the steep slope of the shoreline to her resting place. This ship is perhaps also one of the world's most intact wrecks. Very little was ever recovered from this ship, and today the vessel is like an underwater time capsule. Its cargo holds contain trucks, jeeps, and even aircraft drop tanks. Many more World War II relics can be explored in these holds. Nearly every diver that visits the Coolidge has a tale to tell, and few would not agree that the Coolidge was the best dive of their life. Bokissa offers more than just wrecks. This is their shark dive. Divers can have up to 50 sharks swimming lazily around them in the 20 metres or 60 feet of water. These sharks are not fed, it's simply a natural occurrence. A huge diversity of diving is offered at Bokissa, and just as diverse is the number of marine species you can find. There are snorkeling trips and even introductory scuba lessons that are sure to awaken your interest in this most amazing underwater world. The pace is as fast or as slow as you wish at Bokissa. There are 2 bars and a number of general areas which include pool tables, libraries and lounges. The main areas are specifically designed for guests to get together and mingle.
Is that good? Yeah? Better than the black stuff?
No, not better than the black stuff.
No.
The resort's centrepiece is a beautiful 25-metre freshwater swimming pool, complete with swim-up bar. The upper pool deck provides the perfect platform for admiring the sea, and during the night this is an ideal place to stargaze. No matter how you have filled in your day, Bokissa's chefs will be working to ensure it's capped off perfectly. Music begins to fill the air and signifies the closing of another perfect day and the dawning of another perfect night. The restaurant provides buffet meals with an emphasis on local fresh seafood, including rock lobster, santo beef, pork, chicken and lashings of fresh vegetables and fruit, which are grown on the island.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
A selection of fine wines and exotic cocktails are also available. Mealtimes are the perfect time to swap adventures with other guests. Many lifelong friendships have developed from Bokissa's restaurant. Now it's time for some culture, and a visit to the Kava hut is where you can join the locals for a traditional drink. Kava is not alcohol-based. However, it is a light drug and it does affect people differently. Like alcohol, a cup or two never hurt anyone, and the locals may even convince you that it's purely medicinal. Bokissa Eco Island is 180 acres of virgin rainforest with only 14 private beachfront whares. Walking tracks throughout the island provide guests with a dramatic contrast to the usual expectations of a tropical island. It's interesting to note that only 30 or so guests share these 180 acres of wonderland at any given time. There are a number of ways of getting around Bokissa Island. Most people's favourite seems to be the kayak. The kayak is generally used to find quiet and private little beaches. The kayaks are also used on the marvellous and breathtaking Malo River Adventure. The Malo River Adventure is exclusive to Bokissa Island. It's an out-of-Hollywood kayaking experience under a canopy of rainforest that drips with wild bush orchids and ferns. As usual, the water always entices, and everybody takes the opportunity to refresh with a swim in the aqua blue swimming hole. Typical of Bokissa, the food is first class, and the sizzling beach barbecue is the ideal meal to accompany a most ideal day. Bokissa Island, another perfect day in paradise. Located within the heart of Europe, Germany is surrounded by 9 countries. You're most likely to land in Frankfurt, a financial centre and hub of Germany's transportation industry. Here, the glistening skyscrapers tower above such historic landmarks as the Roma City Hall. From Frankfurt, you can easily reach Germany's other key cities by water, land or air. A new day has dawned. On November the 9th, 1989, the wall came crashing down. For the first time in almost 30 years, East and West Germans openly greeted each other. After the wall was opened, many went to see but were very wary about the new situation. But with family reunions, everything became familiar again. Eastern Germany is now open to Western eyes. Now you can see the once hidden architectural works of wonder and share the simple pleasures of people just discovering the meaning of freedom. Explore cities offering unexpected beauty. Here fought Checkpoint Charlie was perhaps the most famous border crossing in the world, with the Berlin Wall cruelly slicing the city in half. Today, remnants of the wall still stand, but more often you'll find bits and pieces sold off as souvenirs. What was once the drab facade of the wall is now the East Side Gallery, a tribute to art, hope, freedom and reality. For over 200 years, the Brandenburg Gate has symbolised Berlin. From this monument, the Boulevard Unter-Linden leads to many of Berlin's treasures, inaccessible to tourists for decades. In stark contrast, the Kurfürstendamm, better known as the Kudamm, is a 2-mile stretch of cafes, theatres and shops. The Kudamm presents a clash not of East and West, but of fashion and philosophy, creating an atmosphere both electric and eclectic. While in Berlin, the place to be at night is on the Kudamm. So if you're looking for culture, historical architecture, and recently reopened destinations, be sure to check out Germany. Here in the US, the Waldorf Plaza and the Ritz will have to play catch-up if they want to claim the title of New York's most expensive hotel room. The new Mandarin Oriental Hotel in Columbus Circle opened recently with a feng shui-style ribbon-cutting ceremony and boasts a suite with a whopping $12,595 US nightly price tag. That beats out the Ritz-Carlton by almost $100 US. The Mandarin-style presidential suite is set to open to the public and includes a portable telephone system and Asian-themed artworks valued at over $1 million US. The full kitchen and formal dining room and living room have high-definition flat-screen LCD televisions. There's even a baby grand piano in the living room. The exotic wood panel suite has a high-tech surround sound system and entertainment centre, wet bar, office and media room and French marbled foyer floors, and commands majestic views across Central Park and the Hudson River. The master bedroom is luxurious and very, very comfortable, and there is another flat-screen television to watch while you're in there as well. In the master bathroom, there is a two-person steam shower, together with a deep soaking tub overlooking the park. And yes, yet another flat-screen TV. The general manager said he had a positive outlook of filling the room with entertainers, celebrities, business and government leaders as guests regardless of the hefty price tag. He also said that it was a coincidence that the room was the most expensive in the city. It just turned out that way. Join Latitudes again when we next trek the globe and explore fabulous and exciting holiday destinations. For further information regarding any story on this episode, log on to www.pbtv.com.au. This program is proudly supported by PATA and Always Dive Australia.